2 then, looking at the foundation paper from January 2013, always source 2. Okay, so they tend to like biography sources for source 2 as well. So the skill is to get information and make inferences, like 1B, but for a longer period of time, make more statements and write in a more sustained way, really. So here, 3 or 4 point evidence explain paragraphs, have quotations, say it in your own words. What can you work out? Okay, so this source then is looking at Steve Backshall's Deadly 60 biography, looking for adventure, but again, use the skills and the knowledge from this video that you work out from this video to then approach other question 2s in your revision. So look at your mock exams, question 2s, but also the sources that are also there on the AQA website and also in this 10 mark challenge website too. Okay, so this is looking at what do you learn about Steve Bagshall's home. So explain what you learn about Steve's childhood home. So, okay, again, one of the biggest things here is people misread the question. They talked about, you know, people not liking him at school because he smelt of milk, but actually that's nothing to do with his childhood home. It has to be really specific. What do you learn about Steve's childhood home? Well, we learn lots of things. It's about then trying to work stuff out. So what it asks you to do is to make an inference, have some relevant quotations to support about ideas about Steve's home. Excellent then is going to make clear inferences, giving relevant quotations about and clear statements about Steve's home. Okay, so one way that you can approach this as well, especially with somebody who gets a bit nervous maybe, calm yourself down. Just know that when you approach this question, you use the question to start your point. So for example, we learn that Steve's childhood home was, and then you have your own quotation. So what I'd like you to do now then is pause this video, use that text and look at what do you learn about Steve's childhood home. Okay? Okay, hope you've paused there. So what do we learn then about Steve's childhood home? So have a little look, use this model answer then to look at how you can improve your own answer, not just actually in this paper but also in other question 2s from other papers. Okay, so one of the things then that we've got here, we learn that Steve's childhood home will always be his home. For the rest of my life, no matter where I go or how much I make my current house my own, Collinwood House will always be my home. So this shows us that he could go anywhere, but his childhood home would be his most important home. Okay, it's a little bit saying in my own words. I'm attempting to make an inference there, but I want you to look then at this one, which is clearer. Okay, we learn that no matter where Steve goes, his childhood home will always be his home. For the rest of my life, no matter where I go or how much I make my current house my own, Collinwood House will always be my home. So this shows us how much he enjoyed his childhood at Collinwood, and going there will always make him feel happy. So I've got this real clear inference there about how much he's enjoyed his time, and about the future, that going there will always make him feel happy. It's about the future there, isn't it? So if we break it down then, really simple, point, evidence, explain. I've got my clear statement at the top there. We learn that no matter where Steve goes, his childhood home will always be his home. That quotation and then that very clear inference there. I've kind of made sure I've got that inference really clear by putting an extra bit of information on that, and going there will always make him feel happy as an adult. So for question 2 then, This is the success criteria more generally. Then what you need to do, you need to attempt to make an inference, have quotations that answer the question, and then excellence going to have clear inferences that gives relevant quotations linked to clear statements that answer the question. So it needs to be specifically about the question. Okay, so top tips then. Question 2, timing. You've got 12 minutes here. Don't agonise over these first questions. They're the least points in the whole paper. So make sure that you are using that time. And actually, if you go over, it's fine. Move on. There are more marks later on. There's always source 2. Use the question to help you formulate a response. So we learn that. Use quotations. Use point evidence explain about 4 times, depending on time that's there, and then try to work things out that are not said in the quotation. Okay.